afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on folks. Actually, still, yeah. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on folks. It's still about morning for me, but some places it's afternoon or evening. This is your man, Lloyd George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is going to be the last weekend of April. Can you believe it? May is just around the corner. May flowers. Also, Mother's Day is coming up, so I want to say my mother's birthday was last week. I still, remember my dear mother. She's the one who really inspired me. She raised me and my brothers and sisters, and I always want to remember her. And also, I want to give you a shout out to a competitor who just got her Masters Olympia qualification. Shout out to, uh, Lisa Hutchins. She just got a Masters Olympia qualification at the Emerald Cup in Washington State. Good luck to you. Congratulations. She's been a guest on my channel. I want to give her that shout out before we start. So, folks, I have here a lovely lady. She's all the way from Norway. That's a long way. As you know, one of my monikers is I am an international player from the Himalayas. That's my man Jerome here in the house. We have here the lovely Mrs. Katrine Tonnesen. If I got a name right, I want to let her know that.
Yes.
All right. And Katrina just recently has been signed by the Team 4 Pro coaches. That is Irene Anderson, Gina Carvalho, and Helen Trevino. And she is planning on possibly competing this year, maybe sometime soon. We get to that. And she's originally from Denmark, but she lives in Norway. And there's another lady who I interviewed a while back, Jenica Kurtloda, who's IFB Pro in women's bodybuilding. She's also from Norway. So we welcome Katrina, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Not a problem, not a problem. So this is a question I ask you. What got you started into bodybuilding? Or sometimes I might say, what got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
I mean, I think it was a passion very, very early in my life because I am raised and brought up at a farm. So I had a dad that was very enthusiastic about horses, and horses need a particular kind of food to like develop their muscles and energy when you're using them for sports, and that's what we were doing. So I got this the roundness in the muscles and what you can do with the horse body. That was my start as a very young girl, and so then I started thinking about the human body and how we can expand that and shape it. So it was that was where my journey started. And in 2000, there was this Mrs. and Mr. Fitness. So they were doing like those free routines, and I was sold. And in Sweden, they had those. They had like a show on TV with muscle women and men, and oh my god, I was sold. So I went all the way to Copenhagen just to get this body magazine with all the bodies inside every month. I drove all the way 2 hours and got the magazine. So that's where it started.
2 hours just drive to get a magazine. Ooh,
Was
that
by
is,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that's really dedication because bodybuilding been around for a long time, and
Hmm.
it has evolved over time. It's a very niche sport. It's a very small sport, but it has gone worldwide. And one point she mentioned is asking for information that one of the ladies that is the coach, she knew this lady very well, and that was Helen Trevino. Now, how did you and Hella meet? And when did you approach her about joining her team for a pro team?
When I approached her, it was I saw her because we're friends on Facebook. I actually know Helle from back in the days when I competed in women's physique. I lived in Copenhagen, and she did too. She was the first Danish IFB Pro bodybuilder. So of course I was a fan at once, but I got to know her and I trained in the same gym as her. So yeah, I followed her journey all the way, and she put up this post on Facebook. I saw it in the morning that she was retiring, and I just started crying because that was yeah, it was huge. So, and then she was putting out this 1 year coaching you could win, and I just went to work and I had a break and I thought, what the fuck, I'm just gonna do it. And I approached her before, and actually I couldn't afford her at the time. So this was an opportunity for me, which I did not think that I would win, but I did. So yeah,
Well, I think you had a way in because you knew her. I think she knew you, and I think she saw your potential.
yeah,
And the thing is that we have like well, someone like Hella, who I say is a great. I mean, she's been a Olympian, two-time Rice Phoenix champion. I
yeah,
know for myself when I heard she was retiring, I say, oh, because the fanboy in me, and also I have to miss my crimes, Katrina. I love you, pump muscular women, y'all psych me.
yeah,
And you know what? It's important for her life to find something outside of the sport.
mm, yeah. Yeah, so it was actually it was beautiful and sad, and at the same time. So, but I followed her for her first, yeah, with all the steps all the way, and yeah, it's just huge when you know someone. And I know Helen. She's enormous. She has like this energy in the present. She is so original, and extremely present. I mean, I'm really fond of her and her as a person also. So she has a very, very good heart, and that's why she has come that far. So she's all the way through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, what was that experience the first time you started competing? Because that was back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that was back then. I did my first. I did the old steps. I started as a very small girl, and it was a little bit scary by then. We were only 600 members in the IFBB Denmark, and so everybody knew each other. And I thought the women were killing me. Oh my God, how can I look like that? So I was pretty scared. They shredded me. And but I started, and of course I did not win the first time, but I got to go to the finals. So in body fitness, so the figure class. So I competed in the figure class a couple of times, and I loved it. But I just could not get my legs as I wanted it, and the mass, So I needed to work a couple of years, and then I competed again, and then I got to developed in the body as my age went by, and yeah, so I had another muscle quality, so I had to move up in degrees, and I ended in classic bodybuilding. It was called by then, and I loved that. It was beautiful. I mean, that reminded me of the 80s and that physique, and but they took it out, and then they made women's physique. So I competed in that, and that was I think I was in that two times women's physique. But I loved the routine and all the prep. But I just, it's like a sweater. I did not feel the sweater fitted me. So yeah, I was loving the lifestyle, and I wanted to come to, yeah, just live it, just and work on my body in a different shape and way. So I toned my body down in the upper body, and did a lot of years just toning down. That was not easy either. So
Mhm.
then
It's,
the wellness division came. That's only 5 or 6 years ago. Soon 5 years.
yeah, I think it was brought in right about 2017, but didn't really get to it's more established until about 2018
Yeah.
because you at the time I think women's bodybuilding was kind of like at the point where it's about on its way out, and they wanted another division that had a great aesthetic, like for those women who were more aesthetically bottom heavy dominant,
Mm.
bigger hips, bigger waists, thicker thighs, those girls who couldn't really get as lean and conditioned for like um, figure or physique, or the girls who were too big for bikini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
it's like a hybrid of yeah.
yeah, and like I said, I pay attention to it. I'm not saying I'm a big fan of it. I mean, with me, like I said, I grew up in the '80s, and I grew up around when Schwarzenegger was getting out of the sport. You had Lee Haney coming in. You had Franco Colombo. You had guys like Samir Banu, Lee Labrada.
Yeah.
Those guys like Beckel, Apple Beckles, and so many of those other guys. And then um, then the women started really moving up. Rich McLeish, Carla Dunlap, and then you had Corey Everson. And one of my favorites back in the day was Bev Francis. Angela Langer, she's from Germany.
Uh-huh.
Ella von Mars. I think Ella was I think she was Dutch. I believe she was. But
Yeah.
that was a classic look. And then it evolved to Linda Murray and to Laura Craval and so many other women over the years. The sport has evolved, especially when it
Yeah.
comes down to the women.
Yes, I was a huge fan of Larissa Race.
Yeah, yeah.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she was very pretty. Great look. She's from the South. She's from Alabama. So so yeah, yeah. I mean, there was some amazing ladies back in the day. So
Yeah.
so why were you gone for so long? Because this is you were out for a long time.
Yes, I was. I actually had, I mean, yeah, that's a long story. So I I got sick. I'm actually educated a wig maker and also a hairdresser and a cosmetic. So I had my own salon in Copenhagen. So that was easy for me when I was competing. I could just manage my time, and then I could work 1 year. Yeah, it took a lot, but it was yeah. But one day I just could not walk, so it. Yeah, I was going to the movies, I remember, and that I could not walk. So I had been in pain for many years, but yeah, I just kept going. So, and I competed, and yeah, I just thought maybe that's just how I'm feeling, and that's just the way it is. You get used to that. But I couldn't walk in the end, and they carried me to the hospital, and it turned out that I had like a hip disease. So I got through surgery. And I couldn't go back to work. And yeah, then a lot of stuff happened. I lost my apartment because, when you have your own store, it's a lot of money going out, and when you're still sick, you can't go. So yeah, I got homeless. So I bought a tent from my last money, and I moved in a tent with my dog for 6 months. So yeah. And I just worked my way up and met some good people that helped me, bought a car so I could just pay them off, and so I could earn money and keep going. And then I met on Instagram my Norwegian husband, so he contacted me, and he's also one of the guys I have been reading about and following on the blog, in that body magazine. So I just thought, what the fuck is he? Is this for real? So I just texted him back, and I said, I'm sorry, you got the wrong person. And he said, no, I saw you once. Didn't you compete with the orange hair and you were just glowing and owning it? I said, yes, that's me. But I'm not in a good place right now. But he kept going, and we met up in Copenhagen, and we have never been separated since. And now we are here owning a house, and I work and are both successful, and that's all the past. But it's a part of me, and it took some time to get that trauma out of your body and accept and just believe that you could carry on. And he is a doctor of naturopathy, it's called in English, and he has expertise in nervous systems and stuff like that. And all those medals you see behind me, that's not mine. It's actually Thomas's. So he's like a talented Norwegian man that can do a lot, and he helped me. So he helped me through all the pain and worked through it. We took pictures, screens every year, and I saw my hips actually were healing themselves. So I am at a place now where I know I can do it. I'm stronger actually than I was before. So now I can just go for it. And I'm 47. I think I have some good years in me still. In the
47, man. I'm like this. I wouldn't think you're 47. I think you're 30 something. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the old saying, man. And with time, you just find his wine. And it's good that you found a man that loves you. He probably saw you on Facebook in the tent with the dog. Say she fine as hell. I'm gonna holler at her. I got a place for her to stay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We, we got here. Shout out to my man KL, the Wanderer, coming through. He says. It says, good morning. Morning, brother. Morning to you, or afternoon. Now it's already a little bit swinging now. And yeah, I can understand you. Years ago, I used to work quite a few jobs when I was a younger man. I had two jobs by the time I was not even 30 yet,
Mm-hmm.
and and I worked and did this and did that, and then I was working at this place. It was a meat packing place. It was in a place. It's a company called Smithfield. They were the big time meat packing company in my area. And
Yeah.
I was at work and I got sick. Now I thought because I was working in the cold department, I thought it was maybe getting a little cold. So I go tell my supervisor, hey, I'm not feeling well. I got to get out of here because I don't want to get anybody sick. So, okay. So two of my sisters lived the next town over. I would have gone 50 miles to go back to my house. They were just about 30. So it was
Mm-hmm.
close to go there and just hang out with their house. Maybe I feel better, I go home the next day. So my sister Jean, she told me, go to the hospital. I said, no, I'm not going to try to the hospital. So there was an urgent care around the corner where they stayed at. So I go to the urgent care,
Mm-hmm.
and then while I was there, they were testing me, checking out. Said, "Mr. MacArthur, there's something wrong. We have to send you to the hospital." And that was Cape Fear, was the biggest hospital in North Carolina in my area. So while I was there, they had me in the emergency room. Doctor come to me and said, "Mr. MacArthur, I got to tell you something. You had a heart attack." I said, "What?" I mean, I thought with a heart attack, it'd be like I'm coming for you, Elizabeth. I'm coming for you. So, and then I was in a cardiac unit for about a week in the hospital. Got out. I was seeing a specialist, and seeing another specialist. Another specialist told me that, Miss MacArthur, you're going to need a pacemaker. I've been having it for 12 years, and I can understand you. I mean, I couldn't work too much, and then I did get back to work for a good while. Then my mom got sick, and then I take care of her. And I can tell you, it's sometimes life hits you some hard stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then this is someone told me when my brother died. God don't put no more on us than we can bear.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we will bend, but we can never break.
Mm. Yeah.
So, and so, what got you inspired to get back? Because after the surgeries and everything else, because most people say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to get back to all the training, the dieting, and all that. And,
Mhm.
I don't know why I want to. What got you to come back to something like bodybuilding?
I've always been struggling with edema in my legs, and so when I was dieting, I mean, we struggled a lot to get my legs very, very good, and I had to go very lean. I mean, uh, and still, I could see afterwards at the pictures, and you are thinking a little bit. I still could have lost 3 kilos on the back thigh. So, I mean, I did not feel that I have showed and I have worked hard. I don't feel that I have worked hard enough. And when the wellness division came, I saw a potential for the women body. I mean, I think that is built for women because they are very strong in their legs, and that training method. I mean, I think it's built for women. And I was just thinking, that's my cue, that's my way in and back. And then I felt the drive, and now I feel the drive. I wake up in the morning. It's been a long time since I've been feeling that feeling, and I see the differences every day, and I fucking love it. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, quite a few times when I talk to you ladies about what gets you something like bodybuilding, because it's such a very, you know, as I said earlier, a very niche sport, and it's a sport
Mhm.
where no one really follows as much. And
No.
then the one thing about it is that when you ask somebody about bodybuilding, it says you just take steroids, you get all big and muscly.
Mhm.
No, there's more to it. The
Yeah.
diet, the
Yeah.
consistency, being disciplined.
Yes, it's an extreme sport, and it's I don't think it's for everyone. But I mean, I don't I for me, it's a journey inside, and I learned so much about myself throughout every diet. And there's no diet that is the same. Everything is different, and it's about discipline and repeating, and you learn so much about yourself and your body. And I it's the same as believing in God and Jesus. And you have to be. You have to be open and learn and open your heart. I mean, that's the way I feel when I do this. I just feel closer to myself and to mm, yeah, I'm just happy with the sport and what it does, and I love the lifestyle.
Because what is a lifestyle? You're changing a lot of things, especially for women. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing about, especially in the idea of women, supposed to be like right here. You're a very feminine looking lady. You have
Mm.
nice, very nice, aesthetic to you. But
Mm.
again, when people look at it from the outside, we see
Yeah.
women with muscle, and you don't have to be in women's physique or bodybuilder figure. Girls in bikini and wellness. There's a new division that's not having law, so I call it. It's called. Yeah, it's an abomination to me. It's called, excuse me, fit
Yeah.
model. It's abomination. But the thing is, those ladies still train and work out different levels for depending how you want to go, how you want to perform, how you want to present yourself. So,
Mm.
folks, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into Katrina's social media for a little bit. If you want to follow her, links and descriptions are live. If you want to support her in her path on competing sometime soon, reach out and genuine interest, guys. Guys, I know you guys out there. She's a nice lady. She's priority too. She's a married woman. Be respectful. Reach out in genuine interest. Don't be weird. Come on. I know some guys out there, you can be weird. Some guys can be hateful, but be respectful. All right. So we're going to jump into her social media for a bit. And we're seeing her here. As you know, she's working out and training. What's the favorite thing you like about when you're training?
The favorite thing is yeah, it's actually I think you know what's your question again, George?
What's the favorite thing? What you like about your training?
Mm, I like it's like meditation for me. I like to just go inside my head and be there. I mean, it's and I like pushing myself. I like to work hard. Um, it's my own space and my yeah. That's what I love. I like pushing it. I'm very good at pushing myself. Yeah.
So what's your schedule like when you're training during the week?
My schedule is I train Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, I have an active day off where I do mobility training and stuff like that. And I eat a little bit different on the Wednesdays. And then Thursday, Friday, I'll train again. I have like um, 2 days, almost 3 days with legs training. And then I have upper body training. I train my shoulders less than I have been doing before. So it's just with many repetitions, and I am developing and getting better in my discipline on the leg training. So I do my reps better, deeper, and slower. So I get the tension better. So that's what I'm working on now. So it's 5 6 days training with active pause days.
Mhm. Which is
Mhm.
your favorite workout when you're training? Which is the one you love the most when you get into the gym?
So actually, I think I loved the Bulgarian split squat.
Ooh,
Yes, everybody hates that, but I learned to love it, and now I just love it. And I had to do like pendle squats. We were talking a little bit about that one, Michele and me, because of my hips. But I was sick the first week, and then it just now it's nothing. I always now I worked on it and the bottom resistance. So uh, I like I like a challenge. So it's definitely Bulgarian split squat and the pendle.
yeah, the Bulgarians. I think those are like I remember I
Mhm.
interviewed a lady. She turned pro a while back. She's actually a Bulgarian, and she told me a story how her and I think one of the wellness girls were doing split squats together. A Bulgarian doing split squats with a Puerto Rican, and that was
Yeah.
really funny. But which the one that what when you get in the gym says and your coach says this is on the schedule, and you say I don't want to do it. No, I want to do the shit. No, I don't want to do it. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Which is the
What
one you
was
don't
your
Which is your least favorite? The one you say, I don't want to do it when you get into the gym.
oh um Okay, I think that's bicep.
So you don't like doing any upper body.
I don't like doing bicep curls, but I don't have to do that much anymore, so I don't know why. I think maybe it's because I have never. There are. I get so much pump, and I'm very good at training shoulders and stuff. I love training shoulders, and you can always see on the physique which part you love to train. So I actually I practice by loving every exercise, and I always tell myself while I'm doing it, this is my favorite exercise. So that's how I go into every exercise and workout, that I tell myself when I'm really serious and when I'm all tuned, which I am now, and I have a lovely woman behind me, so I give everything. I give all I have, and I tell myself that this is my favorite exercise every time. So I do it with no complaints.
And here she is when she was competing with physique. Wow, you had you had a. I would say this is the classic look of women's
Mhm.
physique. You know, I mean, when do you the idea with the red hair? Where, red, orange. You know, when you come up with the idea?
When what?
When did you come up with the idea with the red hair?
I've always loved orange. I mean, orange. I was wild.
Orange. Oh,
That was wild. I was owning the shit. I mean, it was, yeah. I just loved that color, and yeah, I changed it. I changed it. I mean, I actually shaved my head a couple of times. So I shaved all my hair off when I got sick. So I started new, and then I moved to Norway, and it was very classic. They did not allow colored hair here. They were very. There was a lot of opinions about my hair, so yeah, I toned myself a little bit down, and yeah, a little bit more classic, and I liked it.
well, ma'am, you do look lovely. No matter, hey, as men, hey, you can be bald, be you
Yes.
can be have a head full of hair, and women like you, hey, we don't care. You know,
Yes.
that's. But I think everybody has their idea what considered feminine by the standard.
Mm.
You know, and again,
Yeah.
ma'am, you are a lovely lady, and you know, and you put in that time into work and the training to build your body. You know,
Yeah.
it's good to find something out of sport that gives you that I think that good feeling, that whole thing about the regimental of being a bodybuilder, and you know,
Mhm.
and here's one side of it: how some people look at this. Now we'll look at her pictures, and she's a lovely lady, but
Mhm.
then there's guys out there who look at it and say she got too much muscle. She's trying to be a man. What the hell are y'all looking at? I don't know what that It's just I think there's always going to be some prejudice to something that's not the norm. Because you talk about when you were in Norway, you don't like your orange color hair, but that's just hair. It shouldn't matter
It's
about your
everything.
hair.
Yeah. I have been having my first competition. My boyfriend left me because of he was feeling he had lower self-esteem. I was in better shape than him, and I respected him for being that honest. So I said, that's cool. That's cool. But and then I was seeing a lawyer at another time, and he left me also because he said, you look like a man. But I do. I know I do not look like a man. So I said, I'm sorry about that. So good luck.
You, you had no apologies to say I'm a man. I don't look like I got probably maybe not bigger boobs than you, but I got bigger boobs than ladies who are in bodybuilding. And the
Yeah.
thing is, it's about how this makes you feel. And if those men, those men either got a little sugar tank or he said they're insecure. I've
Mm.
interviewed with ladies who told me that they were married and they got divorced because they changed their look. They wasn't considered as feminine.
Hmm.
As men, we acquire women as being, petite or small or this or that.
Yeah.
As men, we can be anything we want, but you women
Hmm.
are put into a box.
Yeah. I used to think in my earlier days that, yeah, I mean, it was hurting, but now it's not. I feel very feminine and very beautiful, and the sport is so many things, and people will always judge you. Doesn't matter where you are, and of course, I was born and raised in the small suburbs, And when I started competing, of course, people were talking. They saw me 3 months later, and then I looked like a rock cut out, And they was, of course, they talked and they judged me and said, "Yeah, she's taking steroids and she's taking everything." But I mean, yeah, I just pulled the plug and just did my thing, and I moved. Of course, I think you have to choose your battles.
Yeah, that's about life. You have to live for yourself. You can't live for anybody else. That's the
No.
problem is you try to waste your energy living for somebody else. It's going to hurt you. It can affect your
Yeah.
mind because
And so, I just told you that I worked as a hairdresser and wig maker, and I made wigs for cancer patients and stuff like that. I mean, it pushes things into perspective, and for me, it's a balance about femininity and masculinity. I mean, we have them both, and we need them both. So I think it's how you carry it, and I love it. I love the combination, with the feminine and with the feminine side and the masculine side, where you are giving it all you have in the gym, and then you can look pretty for the rest of the day.
yeah. Like this picture right here. She sent me some pictures, and this is one of them. Like this is one here. Wow, she got the hair done. She got her posing. Her boobs are out. you
Yeah.
know, and here she is with her lovely husband. And how long y'all been together now?
10 years.
10 years. That's
Mm.
great. My parents were together for 55, but they were living separately. My mother was here in North Carolina with us, 6 kids, and he was up in New Jersey, living his life. And it's
Yeah.
good to find someone to support you because, again, as I said earlier, relationships are tough when you're in sport, especially because he himself is a bodybuilder. He understands. Is that important when you relationship when somebody who understands who you are and shares your passion just as much as you do?
They don't necessarily need to share my passion, but I think it's very important to show engagement. I mean, if I don't like boats, I mean, he loves boats. I just need to take a book and read a little bit about it. I need to show enthusiasm and engagement. So if the engagement is not there, I mean, it's not going to work. And
Yeah.
he supports me, of course, and he's engaged, and um, yeah, I could not find a better partner. But I think it's just his person in general that are just a lovely person.
Yeah, it's good that you found that because it's most definitely because bodybuilding is a sport that can be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and even the big part financially draining. Prepping for shows. Like one thing is like people don't understand. You could say, "Oh yeah, she's taking steroids," but the thing is, that's only for recovery. It's
Yeah.
part of the process. If you don't stick to a diet, you don't be consistent. You don't. Everything's not going to be a magic pill.
No.
Mhm. Yeah. We have your comment from a man. Shout out to my man KL. One that says she looks uh like
Like Michelle
Michelle
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer a bit. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
What if there's a celebrity that you feel like you look like the most of, who would it be?
It would be now the name just it's Angelina Jolie.
I see it a bit. The lips. I mean,
And I have my black hair up, and it's all right.
maybe next time for I don't know if y'all celebrate Halloween in your country, but maybe you can dress up as Tomb Raider. He can dress up as a superhero or something.
Yeah.
So so now that you're working with Helen and the team for pro, what's the plan? Are you taking the time to grow, or are you going to think about competing this year or maybe next year?
We actually didn't really get to that point yet. Now we just need to get a little bit of the fat off that I have been carrying around. So we're actually starting to see what I have now, and we are going into a building phase after that, and then we will see. I hope maybe in in the winter maybe, or in the end of the year. I hope I could take a small competition just to get into it, and then go for a more serious, better shape.
Mhm. So they just take the time to assess where you are at right now when it comes to your physique, and
Yes,
then when you
I
want to, take the time to then finally maybe pick a show that probably works with you and your time.
yeah, and yes, and it more as I mean, it's been a long time since I have been down in that lower fat percent, and I, I, I've, I don't know actually what she wants, and we will be talking about it. But I need to build some parts still, so that I know and I can see that they are missing. But as my body shapes in, and there are coming some good lines there, so I'm definitely not disappointed about myself and what we are going towards. So it's going to be good. So the
Mhm.
quads are been being worked on.
Mhm. And especially with figure, you need the uh, good connection between your adductors and hamstrings. You want that overall fullness in the quads. Not so much about the upper body, but you still need to bring that up too, because you want a
Yes.
nice roundness condition in your shoulders. Because you're
Yeah.
not gonna see your back. We're gonna see you. We're not gonna see your back. We'll see your backside. But
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
important about when you do a division. You have to with working with the critique of it. Shout out to my man. Put my Omega glass for a second. Shout out to my man says he's like this. It says, do you have a show that is highlight for you?
There is one in Denmark, the NPC Two Bros in uh, November. So I would try maybe to see if that could be a possibility.
Or are they? No, with Norway, it's not as a big bodybuilding established country as you look at other parts of the world, like Germany or Europe. Like Germany or Great Britain, where because I think it's very a reserved country from what I heard from some because
Yeah.
you talk about with the hair thing, you know,
Yeah.
and
But
with other
it's
countries.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think with other countries, I think it's the opportunity because, if you go to Denmark, where that's your home country and that's where you started at, or you can go to Germany, which is also very popular. Just had the FIBO last weekend. It was just one of the, big, shows for the start of the season. Like you had the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic in the UK
Yeah.
just I think it was about last month, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So for you, besides of someone like Hella, who's really been inspiration in your bodybuilding path?
Yeah, it was Larissa Rice for many years, and I met her, and
Wait a minute, wait a minute. We have a little difficulties.
I met Larissa Rice in Copenhagen many years ago. She was a big, huge inspiration, and
Wait a
I,
minute. Oh, whoa, whoa. I can't hear you. Something, talk, say something.
yes,
Yeah, try to work a little bit. I think we have some technical difficulties. Sometimes overseas can be a little bit. Okay, can you say something now?
yeah, I'm talking now.
It sounds like I'm getting this funny kind of like, do me a favor, go in and go out, and maybe straighten that out because it's something. Just go in and go out. Yeah. Give us folks a moment, folks. Difficulties happens. So this thing about the sport and about bodybuilding, the diet, the consistency, that's the important part of it, and understanding the aspects of it. A lot of you guys, you come here to see the big muscular women, but here the thing is, this is why I do these interviews to share and highlight athletes like Katrina, who competed back in the day, and then she took some time off because she was dealing with a lot of stuff like being homeless. It's tough. My family, we always had a place to stay, but sometimes life can be brutal. I mean, some people don't have the opportunity. That's why I would say this: if you know somebody who's gone through something like this, a hardship, if you can, especially in your area, if you can provide some kind of help or assistance, reach out with them, talk to them. See what you can do. I know it's tough. Some people don't want to put themselves out there, and sometimes people don't appreciate it much. But you know what? It does come in handy if you can help somebody. I'm not saying be solve the problems of the world. Maybe just help one person who really needs it. So we have her back here. Hello.
Is it okay?
Hmm. Yeah, it might be something with your. It might be something with your sound. Uh, talk a little
Working
bit.
on the.
Hmm?
How
What do
is
you
it now?
say? No, I just can't. It sounds like I don't know. It's going. It's like it's really muffled and it sounds like it's gonna. It might be because of. Hmm. You
Is
say
it
you got a
better when you
computer.
talk?
Yeah, it has to be something with a connection.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay now. I can hear it. Okay. All
Yeah,
righty.
yeah.
All righty. So as I was saying to you,
I
is there okay, other than Hella, is there some other people in the sport that really inspire you as a bodybuilder?
I mean, I was very fond of Franchelle Matos when she won the Olympia. She was definitely the game changer for me. So yeah, she was lovely, lovely. And I also have she's called she's Danish. She actually from my hometown. She's called Christina Dybdahl. She also moved to the US, and yeah, she's back in Denmark though, but I followed her for many years. Those women, I mean, Hella, she was the first, and then Christina Dybdahl, then it was Larissa Race, and after that, definitely Franchelle Matos from Brazil.
Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few ways. I mean, like I was talking earlier, people like, I was a big Queens fan, but I do respect her physique. Some of my favorites were Laura Val coming up. I like Iris Kyle. She had an amazing physique.
Yes, Iris
Uh,
Kyle, of course, she's a
she, you
icon.
can you can say all about, but she has won 10 Olympians and
Oof. Yeah.
nine straight in her career.
No.
But one person right now I'm a big fan of, and that is Andrea Shaw.
Yes, she is beautiful.
She
Beautiful physique.
is.
Yes,
She
really beautiful.
beautiful physique. Many people tell me she has a beautiful personality. This is a true
Mm.
story I want to share with you. I have a friend. Her name is Eunice. She also knows Gina and the girls. She runs a
Yeah.
company, Bad Rap. They have a company where they do clothing and also they sponsor athletes. And they
Uh-huh.
also just a few weeks ago they helped. Shout out to my man David. Also, he runs his own channel called Female About Informed. They also help promote and sponsor the Triple O Dynasty earlier this month. And a while back, my friend Eunice, and this is Eunice right here. I'm gonna pull up a picture. She is also a bodybuilder. She competes in masters. There's me and Eunice at Tampa back in last year.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the man in the middle is that's David Lee Roth. I got to meet David Lee Roth. I mean, from Van Halen. He was there hanging out because he was there. He's a big bodybuilding fan. Well, my friend Eunice, it was about 3 years ago, and she
Yeah.
was at the Olympia when they had it in Orlando, in Florida. And she sent me. She said, "George, I'm seeing something in the mail." I said, "What is it?" It's a birthday gift. It's gonna be a little. It might be a little late, a week after your birthday. So what it is this issue of Muscle Development with
Yeah.
Andrea on the cover. And what makes it so great about this, and why, and I know my man Kia, he's not gonna like this. I always bring this out because to me, to quote my other guy, if you get us something, Katrina, never do it for free. And for me, this is my payment. When
Yes.
the champion tells me she appreciates what I do and she thanks me
Yeah.
and loves my support, for me, this is one that keeps me going. When I get to with someone like Andrea, and I would love to meet her someday. I don't know. I'll probably act a fool if I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah, because the thing is that um, people got to understand this sport is a very serious sport.
Mm.
Like I point this out, it's not as lucrative of a sport if you look at other sports where soccer, football, basketball, we can make a living.
Mm.
You're paying, like I remember you talking to me, you said we wanted to work hard before, but you couldn't afford it that time. And for you ladies, you have your expenses, your costs, your hair, your makeup, your presentation. You're a hairdresser. You know how to do hair. But with the men, if you look at that side, guys got to put on a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. They don't need much because they do have their, like your husband. He has his costs when he gets prepping for competitions. But show day for y'all ladies, that's your biggest
Mm,
expense. Like, are
yeah.
you looking for any other sponsors? Because being sponsored by Hill and them, you think you want to get with any other sponsors?
I yeah, no, I mean, I'm not looking at the moment. I would like to get sponsored in it's a Norwegian food store. I would like to seek sponsorship in there for the chicken maybe, but otherwise no. I'm yeah. If someone pops in, I will not say no. I mean, but I'll manage. I think so. Yeah.
Well, you have a good man. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
He can sponsor you, and I think sponsorship does
Yes.
help.
He
And also,
yes. I mean, I'm lucky. I can get tissue treatments and stuff. I mean, everything, and I can also I make my own bikinis. So that I will not use money on either. Or I have to buy this Spakowski rugs, but I mean, uh, yeah. I learned to do everything myself because of the expenses. So I used the Corona time for making my bikinis myself. So yes, I'm ahead of most of it. So of course the clothes would be nice to have good clothes and with a brand, but that I get through my work. So yeah, I'm pretty covered.
mhm. And how long you been making your own suits? Because that's one thing that helps save the cost of,
Yeah.
as a competitor.
Mm-hmm. I made my own suits. Yeah, since yeah five. I think 5 years.
Yeah.
5 6 years maybe. So I made some suits for some others here in Norway that are competing as well. So when I have time, I do it for others too. But it is for my own part that I do it, and I also like it in a certain way because I have an opinion about how I want to look and how it's supposed to cut my body. So I think it's actually pretty cool to get all the way and get the finish line perfect.
Yeah, because you know what you like, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing is, and
Yeah.
also it's a thing about because you want a nice fit, you want a suit that fits with your how your body's growing and developing, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I knew a couple ladies who work as suits designers, and also they also sell and make suits for other competitors because it's a way to make a living in between shows. Like, are you still doing your hairdressing job, or is it like I said, you do what are you doing now for employment?
Now I am. You mean what I'm working with now full time, or yeah? I work as a personal trainer at a huge gym here in Norway called Sporty, and yeah, I work there full time, 100% PT, and then I do diet and I have for some other people's overseas from Denmark online. And then I, in the weekends, of course, I work there too, so that I make extensions. I have a small salon downstairs. So I do hair for people still, and I test out some wigs sometimes and send them for customizing, and then I deliver them out for the ones that needs them.
Would you like to become your own boss and have your own business? Like, what kind of business would it be if you could establish it?
If I could establish it, I mean, I would be good at maybe, how do you call it in English? I would like to go out and talk more to people, like having, yeah,
So you'd like to be like a motivator speaker.
yeah, well, yeah, just I would like to, yeah, if I could do that, that would be nice. And then do talk about how you are. The, you have to make an effort. You know, there's a lot of talk about men and women right now, and being in this sport, you are exposed to a lot of opinions from others and stuff like that. And I actually don't care, because you, if you are in a balance, I mean, and you love your own femininity and the other sides of you, so then you are, the enemy outside can do you no harm, so I would like to talk more about that, and yeah, to the women that are open for it.
Yeah, that's why one of the main reviews I want people to come in who want to be open, willing, and wanting to talk about themselves, about their bodybuilding journey, and about
Hmm.
what they see.
Yeah.
Because we'll go back to again that this is an extreme sport, and some people don't think that women should do it. But there's other sports women do. Like I do. Like I used to do interviews and content on women in mixed martial arts and boxing and bare knuckle. I mean, also women in mainstream sports, like there's a WNBA here in the United States where basketball is very popular in Europe for women. They've been doing it for years before it got really serious in America. um, I think everybody has what they think is the idea of what a woman should be. You are who
Mm,
you are, and you found a sport and you have a very inspiration for it. It's something that I think it changed your life and you enjoy what you do.
mm. But they don't ask those questions when they're talking about driving in the Tour de France and or the Wimbledon tennis. Those women. I mean, they don't get those comments, and I mean, but this is how you look when you are in a sport, and this sport requires that you look like this. So I mean, you should think. I mean, you should really talk more about this is a sport. We are sports athletes, and they are supposed to look like the sport they're competing in. So, I mean, I could also have a personal opinion about how the Tour de France or the Jonas Vingegaard, the Danish person that won Tour de France last year, small bodies, big heads. I mean, but I'm not saying that, right? It's just it's ridiculous. So I think we should hype the sport. That's why it's lovely that you are hyping it and putting it out there, and we have enthusiasts like you, because I think it should be more normal to look exactly how you want to look and compete in what you want to compete in. And I mean, people have so just judgmental eyes, but they are not thinking right. This is a sport.
Mhm. But I think everybody has their different idea what a sport's supposed to be. Like we go back to
Yeah,
the issue of steroids. Bobby always gets that finger point and say, "You taking steroids." But
yeah,
if you know, remember Lance Armstrong, he
yeah.
was on it. But the thing is, that guy had like he was fighting testicular cancer. He probably needed that to help him for recovery.
Yeah.
Steroids is anything from from birth control to
Mm.
inhalers to
Yeah.
I remember I always had an injury. I took a steroid because I have issues. I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Um,
Mm.
you know, um, it's just so easy to pick on bodybuilding, and
Yeah.
but it's just part of the process. It's part of the recovery. Like as much as you sleep, as you take get a massage,
Yeah.
um, as your diet. As I've told ladies have told me this at George. If they don't follow the same regimen and plan I take, they can take all the pills they can take, but they're not going to
Mm.
look like me because they don't have that same discipline or consistency. Some people motivation is driven into it, but motivation can change. You can
Yeah.
get up one morning and it's like it's raining, and you know what? I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm gonna stay home and in my bed.
Mm.
You can talk now. I'm just talking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's your question,
Well,
George?
it's not a question. It's me talking. That's the thing is, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
Okay.
always ask
Okay.
questions.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yes. Yes.
talk. It's like this, like this. I know you got a husband. I don't want him to be jealous. Of me. Say it's like a first date. I
But I
really
would
just
still go even if it's raining. I live in Bergen. It fucking rains every day. Like it's like pouring down. Here we have like all weather jackets. It's like they can survive in every environment. Here it's very practical, so I just have to deal with it and put myself out there. Um, yeah, I think that this sport makes you a better person. I mean, it's just everybody should do it. That's what I'm recommending. Everybody should train and try to develop their body. I mean, it's the only one we got. We only have one.
I think, but I think that's probably everybody is because there's too much. You have to make that sacrifice because one thing is food is part of the necessary part of
Yeah,
bodybuilding. It's, you know,
yeah.
yeah.
It's actually pretty. It's very. It's actually very difficult. I was thinking about that because it's been a long time since I've been dieting and being very serious. And Hella is like, she sent me. She sent me two plans. You know, one with all my supplements, vitamins, and every time I have to take them. And I mean, it was a huge, it's a huge amount of money I had to buy all the stuff in for. So it's very expensive, and but you have to take it in the morning, and the vitamins here, and you have to have a lot of stuff for getting everything in balance, and your digestives and everything. There's a lot of things that people don't think about how the body works, you know, the digestive system, and the brain, the body response, and the body controls a lot of things, you know, and you have to give it the right things. And those women, they know so much about it. They have been going all the way, and they have tried it out, and that's why it's a huge. I appreciate it so much. I'm so thankful that I am on their team and they chose me. All of them chose me together. There are three of them, so of course it was not. I'm lucky that it was Helle, but she was struggling to have me. So that's my luck. But they are three women and they know a lot. So I have to eat a lot of food, and that's what I'm getting back to now, that eating a lot of food and eating while you're not hungry and drinking when you're not thirsty. I mean, giving your body all the time what it needs to train and use your body. I mean, that takes something. Some people say, yeah, it's really hard to lose weight, but it's actually also really, really hard to put on weight and to give your body what it needs, and do whatever it takes.
I can feel you about losing the weight because, like, I was taking care of my mom for a long time, and
Hmm.
food was seen as a comfort because it can be stressful when you're taking care of somebody who's older and they're going through a lot of stuff, and you're trying to live your life, and you eat food for comfort. And at one point, after my mom passed away, I was almost 500 pounds. I decided to it's time for me to take care of me, and went to the doctor about a couple of weeks ago. He said, you lost a good amount of weight. I'm like 416. That's pretty good.
Mm.
And I'm not gonna be perfect. That's the thing is, I'm not like like you ladies who do bodybuilding. I'm not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna falter. I have times where, especially, I have my favorite foods. Like, here in America, we have a lot of stuff that's very not too healthy, but because it's so prevalent in our communities, in our country, it's just so easy to go to. Like, for you, like, what's your favorite? Like, when you have the opportunity to you and your husband go out, have a little dinner, what's that favorite thing you like to eat? What's that favorite? It smells so good, and but not right now, you can't have it.
Hmm. It's actually homemade chicken with it's a Danish dish. My father loved it. He passed away, and he that's with brown sauce and potatoes and um, cucumber with vinegar and sugar. We put it on the side like what's called pickles, homemade pickles. So and some jelly on the side, and there was also potato chips. So you can dip that in the sauce. I love it.
That sounds good. And condolences on your father, because my father, he's been gone about 14 years. My mom's been gone since about 6. Like,
Yeah.
there still any more family left? Like, you have your mother, brothers, sisters, anybody left?
Yeah, I have one sister and one mother. So yeah, so of course I have one mother, but yeah, I have a mother and a sister, and they live in Denmark. So I see them very, yeah, once a year maybe.
What was their thought, especially when your father was alive? What was his thought about his little girl getting all these big muscles?
Yes, he was he was crying the first. He said, "Why do you want to go into bodybuilding?" He said. He was 58 years old when he died, and it was my first competition, so he did not reach to see it. So he died just before in 2000, and yeah, that was hard for me because he was my rock. He was the one that I had all the horse races with, and we drove wagons. and we built this whole community together. So I was like, it was hard losing him, and I wanted him to see me. But while I was prepping and all the things, and he saw me developing, he was like, "What? You're my little girl." He said, "Don't do this to your body." And then he was crying a little bit, and then he just took me hard in the arm and said, "I'm so proud of you. Just go for it."
That's great because you know what?
Yes, yeah,
That's important to have that, support from not just from your spouse, but also from your parents, your siblings. I have conversations with ladies who tell me because, one lady told me how her mother says like, I don't want you to get so big and muscular. You may not get a man. Or
mm,
a man might say to his daughter, say, you already got a brother. I don't need another boy, because
yeah,
it's something that's different from what they know, what they grew up with.
yeah,
But again, as long as they come together and say, you know what, this is what you want to be, this is who
yeah,
you are going to be. So I'm going to
yeah,
support you. I may not like it at first,
mm,
but I'm going to support you because,
yeah,
again, this sport can be a lot for any person. This sport
yes,
can, affect your mind, because we often talk about this is the body dysmorphia, how you look at yourself,
mm,
in the mirror. Because you know what,
yeah,
you not might not think that you are in the best shape of your life, but
yeah,
everybody else around you say, "Wow, you look good. You look great. What you?" And you say, "Nah, I don't know. I just don't like that."
hmm, yeah. You get very critical, even, and yeah, and then when you go to vacation and you are other places where there are lots of other normal people that live normal lives and train normal, then you are thinking, okay, then maybe I look different.
Mhm. But the thing is,
But
everybody's go ahead.
yeah, it's yeah, but I I heard a lot of from my mom. She was not accepting it, in long terms. So it was always a conversation going out with, when can you eat normal? When can we eat Christmas dinners and stuff like that? Yeah, normal dinners.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what it is sometimes because I've talked to ladies that tell me that sometimes friendships have changed because you're not doing like everybody else doing. Like you go out, like when you're a young person, you go out to the club and you hang out, you
Mm.
take and you drinking, you have a good time. But no, said no, I got to get to bed by 8 o'clock. I got to get ready. I got to get up in the morning and do my cardio.
Yeah.
I can't eat. Like holidays, you can't eat what mom cooks, so you bring your own food. Or
Mm.
there's so much to this, and I think again, if people understand this is something that you love to do. This is
Yeah.
something that you do. It's not about you. If you make it about you, that's your problem, not my problem.
Mm. That's right. That's right. And yeah, I know that now, but you go throughout many phases in life, and then, of course, in the beginning, it's very hard, and you feel like nobody wants to be with you, and they think you're a freak, and or your boyfriend's leaving you, and yeah, a lot of stuff happening, and then it just makes you stronger, and the choices you make. Yeah, I think I feel the difference that it does to me, and living and eating so clean as we are. It's it's I feel a lot more energetic. I worked as a hairdresser for 25 years, and I've been working with a lot of women, and I can see the differences in our mental state. I'm a lot more happy. I'm a lot more outgoing, and I can just say, yeah, it will work out. Everything's working out, and they're very pessimistic and not having that much of energy. So actually, that's the reason why I chose to not be out there anymore and just work with the training part, because now I can be with people who choose to be in that environment with the high energy. So I think I'm in an age where women are not supportive, because I'm 47, and then things starts to go the other way, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. If you know what I'm saying, that I mean, um, I don't think we should let age define our dreams and what we want.
Mhm. I can feel you. I'm going to be 52 in November,
Yeah.
and yeah, 52. And I tell you, I remember when I
So
was
you're
young. I
Scorpio.
mean, yeah, I'm Scorpio.
Yeah.
That's why my personality. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and yeah. I remember those days when I was a young man. Used to run around. I used to play sports when I was a kid. But then there's days I give the morning. I feel like, you remember Ozzy Osbourne says, shut in, shut in. I feel like my body's just creeping on me. But the thing is, it's about what you want for yourself,
Mm.
what your goals are, what you're determined to prove to yourself, not to everybody else. And, again, you go back to how if your friends and your parents and your brothers and sisters, they don't like it, that's their problem, not yours. This
Mm.
is about you being the best version of yourself that you can be. And
Mm.
if you have people like your husband who supports you, and you have people like Hella and Irene and Gina who stand behind you and want to see you make those goals and achieve that opportunity to get to the next level. If you know the future, like I say, you're 47, you can get your pro card. You can also compete in a lady that just shouted earlier. She does masters. Oh, now I don't know when that's going to be coming up. It's 2027, and
Yeah.
there's quite a few. I think not as many masters qualifications in Europe as it is overseas in the
Mm.
states.
Yeah,
Would
the Arnold Classic UK. I hope that I can go there too. So that's the final show I want to do and do good. So yeah, that's my dream and to compete there.
Yeah. And there's also it's a great opportunity. Again, we go back to it's the cost of traveling, like that, the expense. And if someone interested in sponsoring
Yeah.
Katrina, yeah,
Yeah.
sponsoring. But guys, this is what I tell you. When you reach out to women like her, and she's a very soft-spoken, nice lady, she's a lovely lady. There'll be that weird guy say, "Hey, Katrina, I seen your pictures. I seen you back in the day. Yeah, no, you sick freak. This is what you do. You approach her. You said, Miss Tonnesen, we are inspired by your story about when you went through being homeless, dealing with a disease, and finding your life again. So we are a company interested in sponsoring athletes. So if our product work with your process and you feel like your coaches might agree with it, we'd like to be one of our brand ambassadors. So, madam, if you feel that this is something might interest you in your path as a bodybuilder, let us know. We're happy to help you out.
Can you
Does this
say
sound like
it
a good
again?
idea? Huh?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
I wish I can do that. I wish I had, I wish I would love to do that because I think there's a lot of women who have a lot of potential, who have a lot of
Hmm.
great opportunity, but just need people who want back. Because you look at bodybuilding from the standpoint as men, there's more opportunities, more chances. Your other division is very popular, wellness. That there's opportunities to get sponsored to find, and you have a great look to you.
Hmm.
It's just about understanding what they want from you and what you want from yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I'm not that far yet. Before I was fully sponsored in Sweden. I was at a team in Sweden called Decor, and I got, yeah, I was going to the FIBO and stuff like that. Traveling and with them and another sports brand called Tap Out. By then, it was really really cool. So, and I mean, um, I haven't been. I'm I just want to see a little bit more of what I can look like, and yeah, now the feeling is getting underneath my skin, and I'm loving it, and I'm waking in the morning and saying I'm gonna nail this. But it's it's in the process what I want and who I want to maybe ask and reach out to for sponsorship, also because Norway is actually, here in Bergen, it's very big with bodybuilding. We have two gyms here with a huge amount of people that are competing in bodybuilding. And so I mean, they Norwegians here are very supportive of the sport, actually. So I'm very lucky to live here in Bergen. So it's very, very. Even the mayor are saluting some of the guys that are competing here. So it's very acknowledged, every sport here. So I don't feel judged and I don't feel anything. So I'm not feeling bad by reaching out for some good sponsors here. Um, but I just don't know who to choose, because I also like to represent a good brand and some good people, So um, that means a lot to me.
Mhm. To one of my favorite movies is Batman Begins with Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. He says to Bruce Wayne, mind your surroundings at all time, Master Wayne. Never give a sure footing for a killing blow. That thing is, yeah, be aware of who you're dealing with, because some companies might not be what you want to deal with, but there's those that do want to help
Mm.
athletes, to sponsor them,
Yeah.
help them get to that next level. If it's not to get the pro card or also make the Olympia.
Mm. Exactly. And I also want to be, I want to land in my process where I want to go, where I want to take this. Now I believe that I can do it. In the beginning, I was very scared because I have been sick, and I don't know how my body will react when I go that down, that far down in fat percent. But um, I tried it out. A couple years back just to see how it went, and it was very good and had no pain. And so that's also one of the issues in the sport. If you are getting older, when you're going that low in fat percent, of course in the joints everything is getting lower, so you can get a little bit of pain. So yeah, but I don't think that's going to be an issue in this time, no.
Well, that's good. That's good. You already know what the problem is. You already saw a solution. You know you got a plan.
Yeah.
And working with Hella, Gina, and Irene, they they're doing some good works, and that's good to have women who been in the sport and who
Yeah.
understand what women go through. Because as men, just like this, men and women, we're the same race, but we're different species. I would say,
Mm.
men, we are built for certain like this. This is the old saying: men, our
Yeah.
purpose in life is to build, battle, and breed. That's about it. We
Yeah.
go out there, we build houses, we fight, the enemies, and we make babies with y'all women.
Protect and
Y'all,
provide.
yeah, that's the thing is. But you know what, women, y'all finding your own way in the world. And the thing is, I grew up with my mother, three older sisters, and I worked jobs, but I worked with women, I worked textiles, I worked strip club with women, and to see that women, you know what you want to go. You have your strengths. It's not the same as mine, and your mentality may be different. I
Mm.
think we're also good at multitasking. You can do multiple things at once. We as men, we want to do is one thing, get it done, we're to go to the next. And that thing is, you have to be intelligent. You have to be understanding. You have to also be patient when you become a bodybuilder, because nothing's going to happen in a day. Like these young competitors want everything quick, fast, in a hurry. No, it doesn't work
Mm.
like that. It takes time. And you
Yeah.
also at the level where you hit your muscle maturity, where your body has now is settled, and now you can still mold it and build it to where you want it to go.
Mm. Exactly.
Mhm. So
Exactly.
yeah, and the thing is also, people, we go to shows and you look at these women like her, and she's doing wellness, and, yeah, and respect her as an athlete. Understand that when you see these people on stage, the men and women who compete, understand that
Yeah.
what they go through is they are tired, they're hungry, they have worked themselves, they have gone through a lot, and that's the tough part of it. If
Mm.
you're the person who's condemning them and talking about, oh, you're taking that, you're taking that, you're taking that, and not understanding the work they put in to build that body, then here's the
Yeah.
best advice for you: shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's
It's
simple.
really hard. I mean, it's really hard. It's and you are exhausted and you still have to go. And yeah, training 6 times a week and taking yourself out there and training that hard as you are supposed to. I mean, I don't think anyone can imagine how that feels. And you get really, really exhausted, and you go the next day. And it's not that you feel. I mean, if you are feeling, you are definitely not going. So you just have to do it.
Yeah. The quote, the great Rocky Balboa, is no matter how hard you hit, how hard you take the hit, and
Yeah,
keep
and keep
moving forward.
moving
Yeah,
forward.
that
Yes.
is, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic. So, folks, we're not going to hold the lovely Miss Tolson too much longer. We do appreciate the time she given us for this interview and share her story. We do wish her best of luck in this upcoming. If she's not going, maybe we might see her come here in the States and compete sometime soon if she gets a pro
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, we say congratulations on being a sponsor athlete by Team Pro
Yeah.
Pro. Shout out to Hella, Irene, and Gina. They are great ladies, put on good works. So, this is the last question to ask you: what would you want for your future as a bodybuilder?
For my future, I would really like to have my I would really like to have a pro card and compete uh, eventually in the US.
Hmm. That's fair to
Hmm.
say, because Like,
That's. I mean, I would like to. I would like to go all the way
you want
throughout
to
the
go the
next years.
distance. You want to go
I
the
want to.
distance. Yeah,
I want to go
yeah,
the distance. I want to go all the way.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is, if you
And I have
determine,
the, yeah, I have the best women in my bag. I mean, Helle, Irene, and Gina, and they are so inspiring to me because they are. I tell you, George. I mean, when I listen to them, I just feel the same excitement I have when I have my own customers. The excitement for the sport, and that's what I've been missing for so many years. People that are really giving everything. So I will do whatever it takes in my power to make them proud.
it's kind of like, go back to the Rocky movies. It's kind of like Mick, Mick, who was the Rocky's trainer. He said that scene
Yes.
in I think it was Rocky Five, where he's looking at the past and seeing like, if you get hurt, you feel
Yes.
yourself going down, there's a little angel on your shoulder says, "Get up, you son of a bitch, Mickey loves you." I love
Exactly.
quote movies. You see that, but now,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me, George. And have a, yeah. What time is it now at your place?
Well, it's a little bit after 12 now,
Okay.
so I
And
probably we just me and my nephew he picked me up and go to do the laundry and run some little errands. So I said that's why I pushed it back till we're going to do 10. So I pushed back because she asked me, what you doing, because I got to run some errands, Alicia. So I know you want to do your laundry today. So he asked me you want to do. So okay, I'll ride with you. So and we just
cute.
got back about an hour or so ago. So yeah, I cut it close a bit, but
What's
yeah,
his name?
his name is Tyrone, as we call him Ty.
Tyrone. Okay.
He
Say
actually
hello.
he's 2 years younger than me because my sister, she was the firstborn. That was her. He was like, we grew up like brothers.
Mm-hmm.
He's we're uncle and nephew, but we're more like brothers. Because I remember this is a true story. When we were younger, my sister go shopping. She took all four of us boys. I have a younger brother. He had, and also I just got to see him, his other brother this afternoon. He was out and about too, and we were the last two children, you might as well say. And people thought my sister had all these four boys. My mom said no, two of them are hers, two of them are mine. Because there's like because there's a picture of us together. You look at it, it's like a family reunion when we were young. You're thinking, you look at it, you're thinking it's a man, a wife, three daughters, and five sons. But it's like, it's my mom, my dad, my three sisters, my younger brother, my older brother, my two nephews.
Cute.
Yeah, but again, when anybody says like say thank you to me, I say this quote from my man Batman. You never have to. That's why I do this. That's why I want to give women like yourself, who's been in sport as long as you have, who found your way back to sport, opportunity to share the story, to let people understand that you're not these big, buff, muscular women, And for the guys out there who like you women muscular and say, hey, be respectful to ladies like this. I mean, she has a passion, She's a beautiful
Yeah.
lady. Oh,
Yeah.
he has to say this too. He's the other guy. He can't help it. He says this. And Katrina, you are beautiful. Yeah, I'm just, I'm just a dog chasing cars. I never do. I get one. I'm sorry about him. I'm trying to see a specialist about him, but he completes me. So best luck to you, ma'am. We can't wait to see you, how you do. Keep us up. And
Yes, I will keep you tuned in when we are closing up.
all righty. Anyway, folks, I'd like to thank my man K Ed One for coming through. Thank you guys who watch this. Follow, subscribe, support Katrina in her path. If you're interested in sponsor her, have a genuine plan, guys. Don't be weird. Don't be stupid. She has a husband. I don't want to hear him be jumping on some guy's
Mm-hmm.
back over his woman. I know she's party. She's very party, but hey, she's tough. So she's been through a lot. I got to give respect for that. So yeah, she got the little flex, guys. There you go. So thank you, computer. Thank you, my guest. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your week. It's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Good night. Good luck. God bless, and see you next time. Bye. And